Hey there, welcome to Hermit Haven. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. We're so excited to invite you into our safe space. Hermit Haven is like a cozy little hideout where we can celebrate being confident in ourselves as we find happiness in quiet moments.
So grab your favorite blanket and your favorite drink, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, welcome back to Hermit Haven. My name's Jackie.
Hi, I'm Ashley. We're excited to have you. This week, we're going to talk about the lie of the timeline. And when we mean the lie of the timeline, we mean like when you expect that you're someplace else or you're going to be somewhere, you're going to do something like in your life, and it doesn't match with like everyone else is doing or what we were told we were supposed to be doing. That's what we're talking about. And I feel like this is such a good conversation because I think a lot of us get down on ourselves because we're not meeting like our expectations and we're not meeting like society's expectations. But in reality, like everybody's on their own timeline.
Yeah, I think this is something that every single person on this earth experiences. And if they say they don't, they're probably lying because it's so easy to look around and see what everyone else is doing. And you can comparison, right? You're comparing yourself to someone your own age, or, I'm a mom of two. So I'm looking at other moms of two, like, well, why are they have accomplished this and that, but I haven't accomplished that, and looking at people that have similar maybe goals that you have and maybe they're farther along and you're like, well, why am I not farther along? And it's just easy to do no matter who you are and what you have going on in life to ask yourself, like, why am I behind? And
Yeah.
you're not. You're not, but we think we are.
Yeah. And like I said, it could be society telling you you're behind, or it could be like you telling you're behind, or it could be like an expectation someone else put on you telling you you might be behind. But if you didn't go like do the things you did, then you wouldn't be on the path you're on, which is the perfect path.
Okay, we took a little intermission because I'm on babysitting duty. But back to what we were, and change of scenery. Back to what we were talking about. So we were talking about being on your timeline, and it's great to have goals. It's amazing to like have what you want and what your timeline, what you think you want your timeline to be, but also realize that things just are never going to happen or rarely happen the way that you want them to happen. And we used to talk a lot about this when we were in network marketing because it's so easy, like, especially if you're in like a corporate setting, to look at other people that are promoting or whatever, or like if you're, stay at home mom like me, like it's easy to look around and be like, wow, those stay at home moms, they go out every single day, like they do all these things. But at the same time, like you are a totally different person. You have a different personality. You have different strengths, and so what you think your timeline should look like or what you want it to look like, it just usually isn't going to happen in that way, no matter what. And so you have to be okay with what is it called? Being a, gosh, what's the word? Like going with the flow. Adapting. That's the word I was looking for. You have to be able to adapt. Like, we're doing this podcast right now and we had to stop it so that I could get my son adjusted and get him adjusted. And like, things just happen in life and you have to be able to adapt with it. And I mean, I don't want to get off track of what we're trying to talk about, but like, when you have your own, what you think is supposed to happen, you're not behind because it's not happening that exact way, is what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's just a different, like you said, timeline than you're expecting.
I think two things happen. Like, I mean, if you think about it, everybody's timeline got messed up a couple years ago when
True.
crazy world happened. We all were stuck at home. All our jobs were on pause. Colleges, whatever it was on pause. So like, or you are interviewing for a job you want and you didn't get the first time, so you have to do it again. Or, you think you're going to meet your perfect match by the time you're 20 something and you end up not meeting your perfect match till you're like in your 30s. Like, I mean, we're just talking about me in that scenario, but still, like a lot of these things I feel like we expect to happen. And I think it doesn't, and it's okay. And I think sometimes you have to cope with it because it's kind of like weirdly a grief. Like, you're grieving like this idea that you had that this was going to happen and it just didn't happen, right? So then like you're saddened by how your timeline's going. But again, like if you didn't complete the things you completed when you completed it, you wouldn't be where you are now. And I think it's in that brighter picture. But like for me, like, I, and you think about this goes all the way back to like even when you're kids, like how many times do you think that your child's going to meet this milestone right, at this certain age, and they're just a little bit behind. Like, it's completely normal, and and society puts this whole expectation, like you have to go to college at 18, you have to graduate by this, and you have to do this, and you have to get married by a young age. And what if that's not your timeline though? And one of the things that always stands out to me, and I mean there's probably other scenarios, but like when I was trying to work for Disney, I moved out in 2019. I didn't start working for Disney until like 2022. Like, it took a long time to
Yeah.
get to that position. Like, I had this interview, I was signed up for traditions, which is like the first day of training, and then Crazy World happened. Then I did all over, then they called me back and it didn't happen that time. And then I did it again until it happened. Like, I had to go through this scenario 3 times. So I was 20, almost 28, I think I'm terrible with numbers. It could have been younger. Who knows? 27, I think I was when I started with Disney. I thought I was gonna be like 24, 25 when I started with Disney. So like everything felt like I was behind. Like, all these people that work for Disney are younger than me. Like, and some are older, of course, but like I think things like that, like, right? Like, it would have been great that I worked for Disney when I was younger, but when I worked for Disney is when I worked for Disney, and it worked out because if I didn't work for Disney when I worked for Disney, I would have never been part of the Tron opening team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, like I said, like different strengths, it really just depends. I think like two people could start at similar spots. It's not going to be the exact same because you have different lives, you have different everything going on. But you could start at the same spot, but two different people might grow differently. Someone might grow a little bit faster, and it's not bad. It's just, you just grow differently and you have different strengths and you have different lives and you have different things happen. Like someone might go through grief or, start a family or whatever. Like there's just different things that happen in your life that forces you to go on a different, timeline path than someone else that could have started at the same time as you. And so sitting there comparing yourself to like, why am I not where that person is? Like,
Mhm.
it literally will make you crazy because you just have a totally different life. Like there's no way that you could be there. But when you think like of your own timeline, I think that's when it's the hardest. Like when you're like, this is what I want by this time next year, and this is what I want in 2 years, and this is what I want in 3 years, and then you don't hit those. I think that like mentally really hurts a lot. And I struggle with that like a lot. I'm not saying that I'm perfect and I'm going to tell you like exactly what you need to do to get over it, but it is something that I think about a lot and that I've been working on. And so this is an episode that I like am personally talking to myself on. I'm constantly like, I'm behind, I'm not doing enough in life, right? And so yeah, I totally feel feeling like you're somehow like behind and everyone else is ahead of you and you should be farther ahead and you should be doing more and you're not.
Yeah.
So
I think too, sometimes you might sit there and pick apart yourself and think, oh, well, if I made this decision or if I was more consistent on this decision, like think about like working out, right? Like if you committed more to going to the gym every week instead of being like making up those excuses, you would have been further in that timeline. But because of your decision, you are behind. And I feel like sometimes you pick yourself apart because you regret those decisions, but in reality, like that's for you to learn from that decision so you can move along in that timeline that you're looking for.
yeah, something that really helps me with this particular topic, because like I said, I struggle all the time. Like I struggle all the time. I think about it all the time. Like I should be doing more, blah, 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 blah. Is, that phrase, opportunities won't miss me. Like opportunity could come along and maybe that wasn't the right moment, but I know that a similar or better opportunity when I'm ready will come along. Like it's not going to miss me. And God or the universe or whatever you believe in, it's going to send those opportunities in the moments that you're ready for them. And whether you feel like you're ready or not, and you're like, maybe I'm not ready, so you don't grab it, it's going to like another opportunity is going to come along. Like this is life. Like I know that no day is given, whatever, like you just never know what's going to happen. But realistically, what if I'd lived to 80, 90 years old? Like I still have many, many, many more years in this life. And I know people think of like working and retiring. but like maybe I don't know, like maybe that's not it. Like maybe I find something that I love doing so much that like I want to continue doing it forever. So I don't know. I just think if it's meant for you, it's going to find you and you're not behind and you're just on your own path.
Yeah.
It's going to
You
be
are
different
where,
from everyone else's.
yeah, you are where you're meant to be.
Yeah.
Also think about it too, like, I don't know, I just think about like, okay, like I never, I think about this like little girl that used to like dream about like, oh, what it's gonna be like getting married. I hope I get married when I'm little. Like, I hope I get, but if all that happened, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like, even though I'm 32 years old and just had a child, like, I had a perfect child with the perfect person. Like, if I
Yeah.
rushed that timeline, maybe that wouldn't happen. Like, I wouldn't be in the same situation.
Yeah. It's so true. All the good things that happen and I mean that we both look at it as some of the bad things that happen are happening for us as well instead of happening to us. And I know that it was like a hard mental shift to make, but when I started thinking of it like that, like these things are happening to me so that I can grow in a way that I need to grow to get to the next step in my life.
Yeah.
And that plays into, where we're at and what we're doing and our timeline and all that too. So it's just, I think it's so interesting how it like all interconnects. Um, yeah, I feel like self growth is something that really helps, like you looking into yourself and figuring out like what you struggle with that will help you make sure that when those opportunities come along that you're able to grab them or, at the right time.
Yeah. I think too, I think about maybe like again, we're completely different, sometimes the same. But I think about too, like when I would go to school in college and all these teachers had these like expectations that I would have like this perfect grade and I can do all these things. But like then they would read my paper and be like, oh, well, I expect you to know your grammar. I expect you to be able to do this. And they're not seeing like this is, this isn't me. Like I have learning disability, and that learning disability either could have held me back and put me further in my timeline, or I could adapt it with my timeline. And I decided like maybe college wasn't for me because I wasn't getting what I needed. So instead, I took the opportunity and went to Israel for 10 months and did an internship. And yeah, that's not college. And I don't have a college degree, but the experiences I got on those two internships, which I only went for one, ended up doing two, I came back a changed person. I came back a different person. So even though, the society expected me to graduate college, even though I had a learning disability, expected me to somehow succeed, even though they wouldn't help me, I was able to go where I needed to be.
Yeah.
Like, so I think sometimes, it's society's putting all these expectations on us too, right? Like you have to be married and have a kid, or and I think it's to that idea, like, oh, well, if you do this, you're right, but if you do that, you're wrong. But like, there's never a perfect scenario. Like, this is my scenario, this is my life. And I think, and I think too, growing up in the Jewish religion, like, I think I dealt with this a lot. Like, when I was like moving out of my parents, like, my parents' house was kosher, and I was like eating out at non kosher places, and like having to like, do I post these non-kosher restaurants? Do I not? Because all these people have these expectations that I'm going to be this like nice Jewish kosher girl, and realizing that's not my timeline. Like, I am Jewish in my own way.
Yeah. I mean, it's just wild to think about. Like, we're all so different. And what I think of as success is going to be totally different as what someone else thinks of as a success. And we all have our own perspectives. I think it's really interesting. I almost like, did psychology as a major because I just think like the way the human mind works is so interesting. But like, when personally just and it's probably the way that we're brought up too. Like when I think of success when I was younger, it was like money and it was like career. And I think that is why right now I'm so blessed to be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, like I'm watching my sister's little baby because she had to go to the OB and she just had him like a few days ago. And I'm able to be here on a Tuesday, like doing this. But like because the way that I was brought up is success equals, money and success equals career and you go get your degree and I have my master's degree. Being a stay-at-home mom is actually a struggle for me Like it's always been not a struggle, like I struggle doing the actual thing. It's just in my mind, I feel like I'm behind because I'm doing stay at home mom thing instead of building my career, you know? And so we all have our own struggles. Some people see success as something completely different. And I'm trying to learn that success isn't, it's not like a thing you can earn. Like it's not a thing that someone else can give you. Success is like you being happy. That's what I am like striving for in life and like learning. And I feel like our generation and like what is it, Gen Z's like after us, I feel like our generations are starting to realize like that working all the time, success, corporate ladder is not what like is that's I don't think that's like a lot of people's version of success anymore. I think a lot of it is like what can I get out of life? You know, like how much can I grow and like what can I get out of life and how can I find more happiness in life? And that is personally like, I mean, obviously, like love money, love all the things. I love, you know, building and getting things done and building businesses. And I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm just saying like the main focus of my life right now is how can I be the most happy and feel the most fulfilled and like leave the best legacy behind for my family and like how people think of me, you know? So,
I think it's like this turning point where you finally accept that like this is your timeline. You like you've like everybody does the comparison. Everybody does like, oh, this is what society told me, but like, eventually you have to get to the point where you tell yourself, this is my timeline. This is okay that I'm not where I thought it would be, and I am where I am supposed to be.
yeah, I I used to have a list of affirmations. I don't have one for, I had a list of affirmations and a lot of them were, I may have put them somewhere else. Hey, this is why I need to use, oh, here. This is why I need to use Notion better because then I have like all my notes and I'm just like, what? Um, but I have a lot of them related to, I can't even find it now. But I had a lot of affirmations that were related to like not feeling like I'm behind because that's just like something that I feel all the time. So I'm gonna look up just a few because I only have one hand and I can't figure out like where my note went because I need to use Notion better for all my things. But I wanted to give some affirmations. We don't have to end it here, but I just wanted to give some affirmations around like feeling behind.
I mean, one good affirmation is I am where I'm meant to be, or I am in the right place. This is my story.
Oops. Um,
I think too, like another thing I want to say while you look at these affirmations is sometimes you get ahead of your timeline too. Like we're talking about being behind in the timeline, but what if you're ahead in your timeline sometimes? Like, what if you complete something that wasn't supposed to be completed right away, right? Like it's that you can get ahead or you can get behind in your timeline, right? Like your timeline might not be again exactly what someone else's timeline is because you're ahead or behind, or someone expects you to fall behind, but you end up succeeding going ahead, right?
yeah, I mean, there's people that like, I mean, I guess I'm speaking for women here, but I guess most people that are watching this are women. Like, there are women that have done the corporate thing and they're like at the top and they're doing their thing and they're like, well, I don't have the kids and the family that other people have, you know? And so the kids with the people and the family and the stay at home moms like me who feels like I am behind because I don't have this career, but I have my family and my husband and I love my life. And then there's women who like I feel like are ahead of me because they have their corporate career, but they don't have the kids and the family and they feel like they're not where they want to be because of that, you know? So it's
The timeline is a lie. It
yeah.
is. There's no timeline. We are
Here's
where we're supposed to be.
I know, baby, just give me a minute. This is totally like real life right now. Um, baby in one hand and a child that needs food over there. So just a few affirmations, and we can edit here or whatever, if you have more to say, but I just wanted to give some affirmations just because I love affirmations. I feel like, yes, baby, just give me like a few minutes, okay? Okay, I love you. I feel like affirmations help me so much. And at first it was just weird because I felt like they're just not, sometimes I feel like they're not true. Like I'm saying things and I'm like, I don't know if I really believe that. But I feel like they've been one of the most I mean, I love journaling too, but I feel like affirmations have been one of the most transformational things in my life because I need to just tell myself or someone else to tell me, like, you're going to be okay. Like, no matter what happens, it's going to be okay. And so I like to find affirmations based on what I'm feeling. Like, I have some that are more like God centered. I have some about creating when I felt really guilty about taking time to be creative. Like, I have some related to that. Anyway, so here's some for specifically feeling behind. Um, I'm not behind. I'm on a path that's unfolding perfectly for me. It's kind of already talked about that. My timing is not late, it's right on schedule. I release comparison and choose to honor my own journey. Every step I take is part of becoming who I'm meant to be. I'm allowed to grow slowly and still be worthy of love and success. I love that because sometimes I feel like I'm going really slow. I trust that life is working for me even when I can't see it yet. There's beauty and purpose in this exact moment. I love that one. I'm enough right here, right now. I'm learning, healing, and rising in my own time. There's no right timeline, only the one that is right for me.
That's a good one.
I love those. So you can put those in the email that I send out in the Facebook group. But I just feel like this is like when Ashley wanted to talk about this topic, I was like, I think about this all the time about how I'm just not where I'm supposed to be for some reason. Not like physically, like I love my life. Like I'm so grateful. But I always, in its comparison, I know it is. It's us being on social media and seeing other people. And I see other stay at home moms that are able to do this, that, and the other. Well, maybe those stay at home moms have tons of help. Or maybe they don't and they don't get very much sleep. Or maybe they don't and they don't watch any TV, or whatever. Like they're sacrificing something. And so we're just all on the path that we're supposed to be because of our strengths and who we are and how much growth that we've had and how much we have to go. And I truly believe that, like, if you're not in the spot that you want to be, it's because you still have like growing in some area to do to get there or some experience that you need to have in order to get there. And you're going to get there, even if it's not at the rate that you think you were supposed to.
Yeah, I think too, it's being grateful for whatever season you're in and like whatever moment you're in. Like, again, you wouldn't be where you are if whatever happened in the past didn't happen. So I think instead of taking this time to compare your timeline with someone else, or compare your timeline with what society says, or your parents say, or the rabbi says, or whoever says, like, realize that this is my story, this is my timeline, this is where I'm meant to be and where I'm supposed to be, and there's no place else you need to be. And I think that is truly at the end of the day, like if you are sitting there comparing, well, I thought I would be, ahead in my career. I thought, I would have had 4 children by now, or I thought I would be married by now, whatever the I thought of. Instead, say, even though I wish I had these things and that is my goal, I am happy in this season. I am happy in this moment and I can work harder to those things, right? Instead of wasting, I don't say waste, but like instead of like sitting there just like kind of mourning what the life you want it to be, use that time to say, how can I get to that life? How can I get to the next stage in the timeline? And I think
Yeah.
too, so many people get stuck in their timeline. Like you could be further ahead in your timeline, but you're still doing the same things that never made you succeed, never made you go farther. You're still hanging out with the same people that don't see your value, or you're still working for the job where they will replace you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, or you're still dating the person that you're still not sure about, right? Like you need to realize that like you're the only one that's going to move your timeline ahead. So thinking like, why am I not ahead? Well, maybe you need to look at your life and say, what are things I can do to move along on my timeline? Or you're sitting there saying, "Hey, why didn't this happen for me?" Right? Like all these things, it's something you have to work on too. Remember, no one else caused these thoughts, you did because
Right.
you sat there and thought about them. Remember, your thoughts create your feelings. So whatever you're feeling is coming from your thoughts. So replacing those thoughts with grace and being grateful and just like feeling good about yourself.
I love that. If it's something that you truly want, then think about what can I be doing to get there? And then also like being present. I think a lot of people have been talking about being more present and being in the present moment. And yes, it's great to think about the future and like plan and I mean that's amazing, but also like be present where you're at. Like what can you be happy about in your current moment? Like what is, you know, working right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, I think I started talking about this, I think I developed more thoughts about it, but like, if you think like, oh, my friends are all married and I'm just here, or you're the person that's married and all your friends are not married, like, why is our timelines not matching? Remember, like, you did what you had to do to be where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Why it's your timeline. It's not someone else's timeline. Just because you're not on the same timeline doesn't make a difference. I think too, I had back in the day, I had a friend that always be like, "Well, I'm getting married. Why are you not getting married?" Because we're on the same timeline. Congratulations, you're getting married. Like that's great. That's awesome for you, but that's not my timeline. So even though we're the same age, we've been through some of the same experiences, it doesn't mean that our timelines have to be the same. And I think too, it's not making people feel that way, making people feel like, "Hey, that's awesome that you just had your first child," or "Hey, that's awesome you just had your fifth child," right?
Yeah.
Like, or "Hey, I know you don't have any kids, but do you wanna come celebrate Mother's Day with us because you're an honorary aunt?" Like,
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah.
just things
Love
like
that.
that, like, you have to be other people's support when they're feeling that their timelines are not where they're supposed to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. We all have our own things that we're thinking like, oh, why am I not here? Why am I not there? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? Like we all are thinking that. So if you're sitting there thinking it, like just know you are not alone. Like we are all thinking it. There's always things that we want. And that's amazing because we're supposed to grow as humans. But don't don't let yourself be use that energy to be upset about where you want to be. Instead, use that energy to be in the present moment. What can I be grateful for right now? And then what can I do to get to where I want to be?
Yeah. Don't fall for the timeline lie. Don't fall for the lie that there is a timeline. There is no timeline. This is your story. Live it out. Be where
Yeah,
you want to be who you want to be with who you want to be with. And remember, don't stay anywhere that doesn't see your value because you won't move along in your life. You're just going to stay in the same spot. That's just what it is.
love it.
We love you all. We hope you enjoyed this short but sweet episode about the timeline. And I want to hear your thoughts. What is some things that you feel that you could have been ahead on, but you're accepting, or whatever it is? Like, what resonated with you in this episode?
Thanks for coming in and having a conversation. And we try to be as vulnerable as we can. And these are conversations that we literally just have off camera. So we just try to bring them on camera so that we can have them with you. So please feel free to like come join our Facebook group. We love having you in our community and we want to grow our community. If you know someone that also, I know like so many people that have this conversation with me. So if you know someone that has thoughts like this or conversations like this, then send this to them and let them know that they're not alone either.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this episode, do us a favor, like the episode, when we see the likes, we see the comments, it shows us that, people are listening, they're enjoying what we're saying, and it inspires us and motivates us to even create more, even though I'm 100% sure we're going to show up no matter what, because we do truly enjoy just having these conversations. That was the base of this podcast to start with, was just sharing these deep conversations with everyone because not everyone has that friend or that person where they can feel this, and we have that, and we're love to share that.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you next Wednesday for another episode, and we love you all. Have a beautiful day.
Love you.
Bye.
Thanks for spending time with us today and being part of our Hermit Haven community.
We hope you enjoyed our cozy chat and are inspired to embrace your inner hermit.
Remember, even in the quiet moments, you're never alone on this journey because we are truly all in this together.
So until next time, stay cozy, stay true to yourself, and keep spreading love wherever you go.
Bye for now.
We'll see you next time.